The latest buzz surrounding Indian cricket at this point in time is the availability of Ishan Kishan. Whether he will play, is his India place in danger, is he going to play domestic cricket, all that is in a limbo. The BCCI had just issued a diktat to several players, and many are assuming that it is directed towards Ishan Kishan also, among the other couple of players in the question. But what is Ishan Kishan doing at this point in time? Well, there is good news and maybe there is a bit of iffy news in that sense. He is preparing for a call-up back into the Indian team, but he is doing it through his method. Now, how is Ishan Kishan preparing himself to get back into the groove? Because we have all reported that he is practicing in Vadodara, in Kiran More's academy, at the Reliance Academy, and he is practicing it with Hardik Pandya and Krunal Pandya. But how is Ishan Kishan recovering from the break at this point in time? Because if you have to go by the report that the Indian Express had done, Ishan Kishan at this point in time, he is living with his family in a 2 BHK rented flat in Vadodara. Not just that, his parents and 2-year nephew are also living with him. What is the major thing that Ishan wanted? He wanted mental space. He wanted mental prosperity. He always complained that since I am on tour, I don't get to eat my mother's home-cooked food. And because of this, Ishan Kishan took a break from the constant touring, from the inconsistent selections and all that. And that is the reason why he has decided to take the break. But why did he initially want to take a break? That is one of the questions that we are saying here, because Ishan wanted a break because, as with 1.4 billion Indians, World Cup final loss left him shattered. Understand one thing, he was doing everything in a very proactive basis. Ishan Kishan, whenever the team wanted, he did this. He did it all with a positive smile, as even Ravichandran Ashwin exclaimed. But then, when the loss happened, when he's with the team, some players could cope it, some players could not cope up with it. And Ishan Kishan was one of them. He immediately wanted a break after the World Cup, but the management told him to play. He played even in the 3 T20Is against Australia, which actually, if you look at it, had no bearing whatsoever. It was just a bilateral commitment. You could have given Ishan Kishan a break. That is the reason why he wanted a break at this point. Mental fatigue and being constantly on tour, that was the breaking point for him. Ishan Kishan wanted to ensure that he wanted a break at this point in time because mental fatigue, constant touring, he was not even part of the squad on most occasions. If he was there after a good tour, he would get dropped. If he was there, some other player would make way for him. Ishan Kishan just could not get a consistent run. Now, how do you expect Ishan Kishan to then ensure, okay, you need to be in a good mental space? Give them a longer rope. But where is the longer rope? Which is perhaps Jay Shah's message might not necessarily be directed at Ishan Kishan. The Indian Express, whom they spoke to at that time, some of the officials, they stated that yes, Jay Shah's message is not indirectly directed to Ishan Kishan. Questioning Ishan Kishan's commitment also raises the entire question. Because if you all remember, there was a showdown between Ishan Kishan and Sanju Samson. Jharkhand versus Kerala in the Ranji Trophy. And it happened at Ranchi. Ishan Kishan scored a century. Sanju impressed with his big hitting. But it was Ishan's century in the Ranji Trophy that ensured that, okay, he managed to hit a good score. And because of that, he was selected in all formats. Questioning Ishan Kishan's commitment now perhaps lacks of foresightedness. And Dravid had also made it very clear that the doors are not shut for any player. But in the case of Ishan Kishan, Dravid had stated, not forcing him to do anything different. That is the problem. Not forcing him to do anything different. And that is the reason why he said, okay, he has to play some form of cricket. He has to make himself available. But this entire period, ever since the South Africa series, he didn't make himself available. And that's why Dravid decided, okay, we are not forcing him to do anything different. He is apparently, if the Indian Express report is to be believed, he's seeking an NOC to play for RBI in the DY Patil T20 tournament. So if he gets through that and has a very good IPL, perhaps when the side is announced on May 1, at that time Ishan Kishan could reportedly come back into the Indian cricket team. But he needs to have a very good IPL. Already, if you look at it, the mental break with his parents around in Vadodara, with all the things that he's doing, he is in a better mental space. But yet again, if he wanted a mental space and all that thing, then yes, playing cricket for India is a brutal thing. It is not easy. All three formats, perhaps it's not easy for any player. And that's why Ishan Kishan's case study probably highlights balance mental health issues, balance personal issues at this point, understand mental fatigue, but never make it a dictate that you have to play all three formats. As Joss Butler stated about 6 years ago, you shouldn't have that ego of playing all three formats, because it's brutally tough on your mental toughness as well. It's not easy. So we hope Ishan Kishan takes the right steps back in making a comeback, but whether he will make a comeback in a positive sense and whether he can score well, that is the next chapter. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.